momentarily, so that doesn't create an echo there. And I need to post this on Facebook because those who come to Facebook might not know how to go to YouTube. So, okay, I think we are coming on there. On YouTube, and I'll be silent momentarily, so that doesn't create an echo there. And good. I need to post this on Facebook because those who come to Facebook might not know how to go to YouTube. So, okay, I think we are coming on there. On YouTube, and I'll be silent momentarily. So you can see that there is always a delay there. There's a delay between when I speak something and when it reaches. And this delay was not that prominent early, but I think it's because of just the sheer load. Yeah. Like that. So. Okay, is there anybody else joining us today? It's going to be okay. We have Priyanka Mataji joining us, and Garima has also joined us, which is very good. Just give me a minute here, ladies. And Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Jai Prabhupada. Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranam. And I'll just get started momentarily. Just give me a sec here. I need to bring up a few screens. And okay, good. So since we have quite a full quorum here today, I think we should just get started. And I will begin with the prayers. And of course, I need to record this.
Recording has started. All participants are muted and they can unmute themselves.
Om Ajnanatimharandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So welcome everybody to our Friday afternoon Srimad Bhagavatam class. Thank you so much for joining.
All participants are unmuted.
And we have Dheer Madhavi Mataji from Minnesota. We have Garima from California and Priyanka from California. Preeti Radhika from Sacramento, California. We have Smriti Mataji from California. Sonal Mataji from California as well. So we will get going, and we were talking about 7th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, and we were on the son of Drona punished. And the verse for today is 1:7:26, and I'm going to post the link to the verse on our WhatsApp group. So if you can confirm that you got that, that'll be great. Okay, good. So let me also go to that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, verse number 26. Kim idam swit kuto veti deva deva navedyaham sarvato mukhamayati teja paramadarunam. And the synonyms today are Kim, that is what is, idam, this, swit, does it come, kutaha, where from, va iti, be either, deva deva, O Lord of Lords, na, not, vedmi, do I know, aham, I, sarvataha, all around, mukham, directions, ayati, coming from, teja, effulgence, parama, very much, and darunam means dangerous. So if I say kutaha to you in Sanskrit, what does it mean? Where from? Okay. So just, there's some noise some line is noisy, so I'm getting a kit 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 sound here. So if you can mute yourself and on your device and unmute whenever you need to speak up. Okay. What is dangerous in Sanskrit called?
Darunam.
And if it is dangerous everywhere, what does it mean?
Param darunam.
It is very dangerous. That is very dangerous. I'm talking about everywhere that you look around you, it's dangerous. All around.
All around, sarvata.
Sarvataha. Okay, good. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Lord of Lords, how is it that this dangerous effulgence is spreading all around? Where does it come from? I do not understand it. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Anything that is presented before the personality of Godhead should be so done after due presentation of respectful prayers. That is the standard procedure, and Sri Arjuna, although an intimate friend of the Lord, is observing this method for general information. Hari Bol. So it's a short purport today. And just to recap on where we are, so a few weeks ago, Ashwatthama had released the Brahmastra and it was coming towards them. And it was releasing a lot of light. There's a lot of effulgence coming from that Brahmastra. And Arjuna didn't know what to do. So he just knows what he knows. So he then turns towards Krishna and then he started calling out for Krishna for help. And so in this, he continues on with his prayers and he's saying that from where is this dangerous effulgence spreading all around? Where does it come from? I do not understand. And this is quite common thing for us also. We do that, right? For example, we have gone out and then as soon as we come inside, there's some strange smell that we smell. Maybe there's a rat that died somewhere, or maybe the trash can is stinking or whatever, something is burning. And so normally then people come back and they say, okay, so from where is this smell coming? Where is this smell coming? Like that. So it's a very common thing for us to also ask, right? Because we can't see, so we're asking. Now, similarly here also, Arjun cannot see the source of that light. From where is that light coming? And because it's the Brahmastra, right? He doesn't know that. So he knows that there is some danger there. So so he's asking, he's turning to Krishna, he's praying, and then he's saying that, where is this, I do not know from where is this effulgence coming from? And of course, like this is a Brahmastra. And Brahmastra is, Brahmastra is actually, it's a material weapon, but it's not a gross weapon. Like it's not like a sword, right? Or a gun or a bullet or things like that. So it is made of subtle elements like mind, intelligence, and false ego. Those are the elements that combine to make a Brahmastra. And then Arjuna, of course, doesn't know that. And it is and of course it is giving out light, and Arjun is crying. And we see that this this kind of a, manifestation, everything that is manifested in this material world, um, is made from, there'll be water in it, there will be some fire in it, and there will be some earth in it, like that. So combining, but the action and reactions of all these things, then we have the various varieties of things that are produced there. So the first chapter of Bhagavatam also talks about that. It says Tejovari Bradam Vinimayam, that it is because of Krishna that these material universes, that although they are temporary, but they appear to be factual, and although unreal. So the main point here is not whether it's factual or real. What we're talking about here is that things are made from the material nature. And so when we look at this behavior, of Arjuna, and we were contrasting that with the behavior of Ashwatthama all along, right? That Ashwatthama, when there was danger, he saw that there was danger. Arjuna was, following him. So he does, without even thinking, he relies on his faculties, whether they are partial or whether they are complete, whether they are good or whether they are not good. He just goes and releases the Brahmastra. And in contrast, when Arjuna sees the Brahmas coming towards him, he takes shelter of Krishna. And that is a huge thing. That's a huge thing there. That from this particular chapter onwards in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam, it's, we are just kind of like making little scratches into it. We are in first canto still after 3 years, and which is okay because we're going verse by verse. So we start with the first in the first canto, and then in chapter number 1 we have questions that are asked by the sages of Naimisaranya. We see that Kali Yuga is coming, and they are worried about what's going to happen and things like that. And then as we continue to go along, we read about the incarnations of the Lord, right? So we talk about that. Then we come to know about how Srimad Bhagavatam itself was created. So we come to the story of Narad Muni, right? And how he endeavors through Dhyana Yoga, and then through a couple of lifetimes, then he finally realizes God, like that. And then of course he gives instructions to Vyasdeva on how to write the Srimad, what to write, and how to get the inspiration to be able to write the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's what happens. So up until the 6th chapter, that's what we were reading. And so now in the second, from this particular chapter onwards, we will start seeing what is known as the love for Krishna. The love element will start coming. And this is the beginning of the love aspect, which is, we are seeing the love that Arjuna has for Krishna. And you can see the stark comparison we can see. Obviously, Ashwatthama doesn't have any love for Krishna because he didn't reach out to him, right? Whenever we are in danger, we kind of like how you see how kids, when they are scared of something, they run to their parents because those are the ones they love the most. So similarly, here also Arjuna loves Krishna, and so did all the Pandavas there. So it is very natural for him to turn towards Krishna, and whenever there is any kind of a problem. And so what we have to understand is that in this material world, we are laboring very hard to get things. And it's not really necessary for us to labor hard to get things, because whatever is destined for you in the material world, that is something that you will get. So we are usually hankering after happiness and material gains, etc. And they will come at the designated time, no matter whether we try hard or we don't try hard. Pretty much as distresses also come on their own accord. We don't get up in the morning and say, okay, let the coronavirus come into my home, right? We don't do that. So just as miseries come on their own accord, similarly, the good things also will come on their own accords. We don't have to just go crazy about pursuing material gains like that. And on the other hand, even if you want some material relief, the best thing is that you turn towards Krishna, right? So when you turn towards Krishna, Krishna owns everything, right? As far as Aishwarya is concerned, opulence is concerned, Krishna has it through the maximum, right? He's the most opulent person in this entire creation, right? So if I need some money, and there are ways that I can get it. I can work really very hard. I can steal it, which is not recommended. I can work really, really hard, and there is still no guarantee that I'll make the money, because there are so many people who work so hard and they fail in their businesses. There are so many people who work hard at their offices, they don't get any promotion. They might, on the contrary, get fired, like that. So that's, we see that these kind of endeavors don't necessarily give you the goal that you were chasing. Okay? On the other hand, if you wanted to accumulate, again, going back to, let's get some gain, like Lakshmi, we want to accumulate some crores of rupees. Now, it might not be possible for me to, collect millions of dollars, maybe because of where I'm situated. I don't know how to generate it. So that's my situation in this body. I don't even know others who are there who could help me like that, right? So I won't be able to do it on my own like that, how to generate. But then if I have a rich friend who just becomes kind on me and delivers me and says, okay, you take it. And then, you will say, okay, I'll take it, right? Because you needed that for whatever project you were working on. So what if we just turn to the richest person in this world and ask him for whatever you need to ask for? And that's what Krishna is also telling us in the Srimad Bhagavatam. He's saying that sarv dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshisyami ma suchaha. Right? So so that's what we are supposed to do. And then we see that that is what is there. That is what is happening in Arjuna's case, right? He's going towards Krishna. He's surrendering towards Krishna. After all, we know he surrendered in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Now we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. So imagine that there is a Brahmas that is coming at us. It comes with some speed, and it is very targeted weapon. And how do I run away with it? I might not even have the facilities to be able to make a quick departure from that area, right? And if I need help, for example, now when I came to America, it was pretty good. When I came to know about the 911, you could dial 911, and I was in Minnesota then, and the police used to be there at your door in 60 seconds, so that was the kind of response. And then of course I came to California, and then I came to know that 911, please hold. So, even the illustrious 911 is not able to respond that quickly. Like, please be on the hold. There's shortage of staff. I'm just handling other calls, which are more important than yours right now. So from wherever you are seeking any kind of a relief or any kind of a help, that faculty in that facility should be able to respond according to your urgency and according to your need. So if I call out to somebody for help, I say, Sonal Mataji, help me. I'm here in Foster City. She's up there in the south. So how will she come? Like, even if she flies, takes a helicopter, then still she has to, it'll take its time to come, a few minutes, at least 5. And the helicopter won't come into my home. It'll drop her off at some open space. From there, in any case, she has to take a Uber, she has to take a car, she has to walk, bicycle, whatever, like that. So it takes some time to do that. So if you really need some help, then why don't we take help from somebody who can come very quickly, right? And he's faster than fastest. And that is Krishna. Because Krishna is known as Yogeshwar. So Yogeshwar means that he is the, controller of the yoga, and he's the best of the yogas. So Yogeshwar and Yogeshwar, both, he's there. So yogis have got mystic powers. So you get the anima, laghima, right? So you become lighter than the lightest, heavier than the heaviest, but you also become, through the mystic powers, you also become faster than the fastest. So if you can become faster than the fastest, then, you can just go anywhere in the blink of an eye, unimaginable speeds you can come and deliver people, right? So, and that is how the mystic yogis, they travel. They can travel on a sunbeam, which is, on the sun rays, there are sunbeams. So they can sit on a sunbeam, and then they can go in the blink of an eye, they will reach the sun planet like that. Okay? So Arjun made the wise decision. He's turning to Krishna, because if there's anybody who can deliver him really quickly, then it is Krishna himself who can do that. And then, of course, Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport here that about prayers. And he's saying that, if you are presenting anything before the personality of Godhead, it should be done only after you have prayed, giving him some respectful prayers. And you will find this pattern everywhere in the Srimad Bhagavatam. There are so many stories where the Lord will appear in his various incarnations towards in front of a devotee. And instead of, just saying, Okay, Krishna, you have come. Okay, good. Thank you so much. I was listening. This is what I really need. I was doing this meditation, this practice, this austerity, or penances, the chanting, whatever I was doing, and wanted this material gain out of it. So here you are, and let's, cut the chase and come to the point. That's not how we behave with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I have noticed that as I was growing up, and of course it's a long time since I was growing up, is that there used to be a certain um, calmness and a peacefulness and a certain method in which we went about things in our life. We never really pushed. And then as I started growing up, even when it came to answering questions, the teacher would teach us about a proper way of answering questions. For example, if they said that, what is the biggest river in this world, right? So the kids, the lazy ones, would just sit down and they will write the Ganges, or like that. And the teachers would say, no, you're not supposed to answer like that. I asked you a question, which is the biggest river in the world? And you're supposed to say, the biggest river in the world is, and then you put your answer like that. So we were kind of taught about, that even if you're presenting your answer back to your teacher, you don't put it across in a short, crisp manner. You will present it nicely, with some buffer and things like that. So similarly here with the Lord also, that whenever you are in front of the Lord, the first thing that you do is that you'll start praising the Lord, right? And that's what Arjuna is doing over here. So, and Prabhupada is emphasizing that, whatever you wanted to present, obviously, Arjuna wants to present that, please save me. But we see that he's not in a hurry at all. And that why he is not in a hurry also is showing the fact that he has got faith in Krishna. He believes that I'm going to Krishna, avaksha rakshive. He will save me. So yeah, he thinks his life is in danger. He's leaving towards Krishna, but he's not pushing Krishna. He's first going to present all his respectful prayers to Krishna, and then only, he'll go to the next stage. And this is the standard way that we have to do. And we have to also understand that Arjuna and Krishna have got a very special relationship, right? He is, like if you go back and look at the Mahabharata, right? So during the time of Mahabharata, we see that Arjuna had, when Arjuna had gone to the Mahabharata war, then Krishna had actually become his charioteer. Now, being somebody's charioteer is kind of like a very low task. If you were a charioteer, you were not very held in a very high esteem during the Vedic civilization there, right? So to own a chariot was supposed to be a very good thing, but to drive a chariot was not a very respectable job that you did. And so those who were in the Shudra kind of a category, the servants kind of a category, they were the ones who would be the chariot drivers mostly, and by and large. And a person who is a Shudra has got a certain type of mentality. And because of those mentality, people having those traits and that kind of a mentality, they are put into that category and they are born into families, where they will be able to pursue their desires and their natures. It doesn't mean that anybody and everybody born in a Shudra family is a Shudra, because we know that generally, but because we know that always, that a person is known as a Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, or Kshatriya by the traits that he has, like that. So, Arjuna, Krishna agreed to become the chariot driver for Arjuna. And then again here, fast forward to many, many years after the Mahabharata war is over. And then here we are once again. This is post Mahabharata, and we find mention of that Krishna was the chariot driver of Arjuna. We see that again in Bhagavatam, first canto again. So we see that that's the relationship, which basically means that Krishna has got, that he's so bhakta vatsal, right? He cares and loves his devotees so much that he's willing to do anything for his devotees. And he will scheme and he will plan. He knows he's bhakt vatsal, so he knows the heart of his devotees. So he will do whatever is in his means and whatever is the best. He will try to do that. so that he can, just give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, Charu Bhatt has actually joined me on Zoom, so she's asking me here. Okay, what has happened here? Okay, so yeah, I kind of just lost track of my thoughts here. Yeah, so he's so bhaktvatsal that he knows what is there in the heart of his devotee, and he will fulfill. For example, we have Kardam Muni in Srimad Bhagavatam. We come to hear about Kardam Muni, and Kardam Muni is a very nice, and he's a very simple Muni, and he's praying. And he's praying so hard to get the Lord and to see the Lord. And that when the Lord sees him, he feels so, it touches his heart. The devotional service of Kardamuni touches the heart of Krishna, that Krishna starts to cry, and out of love, he cries out of love. And the tears start falling from his eyes. And one of the tears falls on the Himalayan ranges. And then we get what is known as the Bindu Sarovar, on the banks of the Bindu Sarovar. A lot of people used to go there to meditate in the olden times. So he's like that. On a lighter plane, when his own sister Subhadra got up to the age to be married, then Balram, who is Krishna's elder brother, he was planning to get Subhadra married to Duryodhan. And Krishna doesn't like it, but what can Krishna do? Because the elder brother has decided that. And in those days, you never fought with your elder brother or argued. You just followed your elder brother. That is why the younger brother was called Anuj, right? Anuj. Ja means born and Anu means to follow. So Anuj is one whose birth follows the birth of the other one, right? So we have Anuj and Agraj like that. So Krishna in that case was the Anuj. So he does not argue with his elder brother. But he also knows that his friend Arjuna actually wanted to marry Subhadra. He knows the heart. And he also knows that his sister was very much impressed with the prowess of Arjuna, and she wanted to marry Arjuna. And so what does he do? Does anybody know? What does he do? And is everybody on mute? I need to check that. No. So while we are thinking about the answer, I'd like to welcome Archana Mataji, Radhika Mataji, Sutapa Mataji, and also Charu Mataji, who joined us on Zoom call. So what does Arjun do? Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Sutapa, Pranam. So do we know what happens for the Subhadra marriage?
Yeah, so Arjun goes in disguise to see Subhadra, and that's how they kind of like each other. Then Krishna gets Subhadra married to Arjun.
Yeah, but the situation that I explained here was that Krishna will not get her married to Arjun because the elder brother is already saying that I will get her married to Duryodhan. Yeah. So how does the marriage happen then? How does it go? How does it happen? Finally, how does it happen?
Mataji, did she get, I think Arjun kidnapped or like takes away Subhadra?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it is actually Krishna who tells him to do that. It's Krishna who tells her to do that. Tells him to do that. And he says that, Arjuna, you go and you take her, you run away with her, like that. So
yeah,
they have.
That's correct. I got super confused with Rukmini. Yeah, Rukmini. I was thinking that's exactly what he did with Rukmini. He's telling Arjun to do it.
Yeah. So in the case of Rukmini, it was Rukmi who was Rukmini's brother, right? And Rukmini's brother wanted to get Rukmini married to whom? Shishupal. Exactly right? So she wants him to get married to Shishupal. And then so what happens is that Rukmini doesn't like it. So then in this case, Rukmini is a little bit more proactive because she has heard the good things about Krishna and she had fallen in love with him just by hearing So I cannot emphasize more on how powerful our ears are, right? that they are like that. And as I was mentioning in my morning classes, that ear is that organ that will never get full. Like, how much can you eat? You can't eat forever. How much can you smell? Your nose after some time goes dead, but your ears, there's no limit to that. There's no such thing like, okay, my ears are full now don't tell me anything more, right? You can keep on hearing. So it is through the ears, and it's very powerful because it goes straight to the heart. And that's why Krishna's Krishna Katha went and touched Rukmani's heart, and Rukmani fell in love with him and wanted to marry him. But then when she hears, oh, my brother is doing that, right? So she writes a letter to Krishna and says that you help me, and sends it across with some brahmana who goes and delivers it to Krishna. So now in those days, it was a Kshatriya rule that that if a lady reaches out to you and says, you marry me, and you take care of me, I'm helpless, then you were supposed to do that. A Kshatriya is supposed to do that. Those were the rules in general over there. And so we come across that, in even in the story of the Pandavas, that there was a demon called Hidimba, and Bhim had killed her brother Hidimba. And so then Hidimba says that you should marry me. I have no brother now. You have to take care of me. And Bhima says, no, I'm not going to marry you. So she comes and she complains to Kunti. And she says, see here, your son is saying no. And Kunti ordered Bhim to marry him. So that is how the rule was. And then, of course, in the case of Rukmani, then Krishna comes and, takes her away. And then, of course, there's a battle that happens, right? So it was very common thing for Kshatriyas to do that, to carry away other people's women. Not other people's wives like that, but young, unmarried. And we also hear about Bhish Pitame. He also did that, right? Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika. He carried all of them away for his brother, Vichitra Virya, for his stepbrother, like that. So, it was very, very common for fights to happen in marriages, and then for swords to be drawn, and for people to kill. Most likely they will kill the girl's brother and then carry the girl away. And then, of course, there's so much of blood, so they would sometimes kill and take the blood and put it on the girl's head, So from that thing of the red blood coming on the head has come this thing of, women, how they put the red thing on the hair. Yeah, so that's how, the origins are there. So pretty ghastly origins. But anyway, I just thought that while we were talking about Krishna and Krishna's pastime, so here, because of his love and affection for Arjuna, that he asked Arjuna to actually get married, run away with his own sister, and he agrees to become the charioteer, and like that also. So again, in the same chapter, you will come across that he's very, very charitable, and he again becomes a charioteer for Arjuna. So there's also very nice verse there in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, which is kind of contrasting very nicely between what our dear Ashwathama did versus what Arjuna is doing, and then what happens to people who are more on the Ashwathama type of thing. So let me just bring up that verse, and I will send it off to you on our WhatsApp group. And Charu Mataji, I will send it to you on the Zoom chat. Please look at this verse. And if somebody can confirm that they got it, that'll be great.
Yes, Mataji, we got it.
Okay, good. So here we are. Let me also go there. Ye nirvindaksha vimukta maninas Tvayasta bhavad avishuddha buddhaya Aruhya krichena param padam tata Patantyadhona drita yushmadangriyaha. So what this verse means is, someone may say that aside from devotees who always seek shelter at the Lord's lotus feet, and a noisy line, I'm going to mute 3 noisy lines, and you will know that I muted you, so you can always unmute yourself by pressing *6 on your keypad. So someone may say that aside from devotees who always seek shelter at the Lord's lotus feet, there are those who are not devotees, but who have accepted different processes for attaining salvation. what happens to them? In answer to this question, Lord Brahma and the other demigods said, O lotus eyed Lord, although non devotees who accept severe austerities and penances to achieve the highest position may think themselves liberated, their intelligence is impure. They fall down from their position of imagined superiority because they have no regard for your lotus feet. So let's see what Prabhupada tells us in the purport. It's a little long purport, but it's a beautiful one. Aside from devotees, there are many others, non devotees, known as karmis, gyanis, or yogis, the philanthropists, altruists, politicians, impersonalists, and voidists. There are many varieties of non devotees who have their respective ways of liberation, but simply because they do not know the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. Although they falsely think that they have been liberated and elevated to the highest position, they fall down. As clearly stated by the Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita 9.3, Ashraddha-dhana purusha dharmasyasya parantapa aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara smartmani. So those who are not faithful on the path of devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of foes, but return to birth and death in this material world. It doesn't matter whether one is a karmi, jnani, yogi, philanthropist, politician, or whatever. If one has no love for the lotus feet of the Lord, one falls down. That is the verdict given by Lord Brahma in this verse. So I want you to go back to this verse where the synonyms are and tell me that what is the word that is being used to define Lord's lotus feet. What word are they using in this verse? Angreha. Yes, exactly. Good. Right? So you have to have a affection for the Lord's lotus feet. There are persons who advocate accepting any process and who say that whatever process one accepts will lead to the same goal, but that is refuted in this verse, where such persons are referred to as vimuktamani naha, signifying that although they think they have attained the highest perfection, in fact they have not. In the present day, big politicians all over the world think that by scheming they can occupy the highest political post, that of president or prime minister. But we actually see that even in this life, such big prime ministers, presidents, and other politicians, because of being non-devotees, fall down. Patatya adaha. To become president or prime minister is not easy. One must work very hard, aruya krichena, to achieve the post. And even though one may reach his goal, at any moment one may be kicked down by the material nature. In human society, there have been many instances in which great exalted politicians have fallen down from government and have become lost in historical oblivion. The cause of this is avishuddha buddhaya. Their intelligence is impure. The Shastras say, Nate vidhu swartha gatim hi Vishnu, Bhagavatam 7.5.31, which is Prahlad Maharaj speaking. One achieves the perfection of life by becoming a devotee of Vishnu, but people do not know this. Therefore, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 12.5, Klesho adhik tarastesham avyakt asakta chetasam. People who do not ultimately accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead and take to devotional service, but who instead are attached to impersonalism and voidism, must undergo great labor to achieve their goals. Shreyashrutim bhaktim udasyate vibho klishyanti te kevala bodha labdhaye. Bhagavatam 10.14.4. To achieve understanding, such persons work very hard and undergo severe austerities, but their hard labor and austerities themselves are their only achievement, for they do not actually achieve the real goal of life. Dhruv Maharaj at first wanted to achieve the greatest material kingdom and greater material possessions than his father. But when he was actually favored by the Lord, who appeared before him to give him the benediction he desired, Dhruv Maharaj refused it, saying, Swamin kritarthosmi varam na yache. Now I am fully satisfied. I do not want any material benediction. Hari Bhaktya Subhodhya 7.28. This is the perfection of life. Yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tatha. Bhagavad Gita 6:22, and we have done that in our Bhagavad Gita class, that when he achieves the lotus feet, then he doesn't ask for anything else. He thinks that this is the best that he's got. If one achieves the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet, one is fully satisfied and does not need to ask for any material benediction. At night, no one can see a lotus, for lotuses blossom only during the daytime. Therefore, the word Aravindaksha is significant. The one who is not captivated by the lotus eyes or transcendental form of the Lord is in darkness, exactly like one who cannot see a lotus. One who has not come to the point of seeing the lotus eyes and transcendental form of Shyam Sundar is a failure. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadeva hridayeshu vilokayanti. Those who are attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in love always see the Lord's lotus eyes and lotus feet, whereas others cannot see the Lord's beauty and are therefore classified as anadrita yasmad angriyaha, or neglectful of the Lord's personal form, specifically the lotus feet. Those who neglect the Lord's forms are surely failures on every path of life. And if one develops even a little love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is liberated without difficulty. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead recommends in Bhagavad Gita 9:34, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Simply think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer some slight homage to me. Simply by this process, one is guaranteed to return home back to Godhead and thus attain the highest perfection. The Lord further affirms in Bhagavad Gita 18:54 and 55, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatmam na shochati na kankshati samha sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yachashmi tatvataha tato mam tatvato gyatva vishate tad anantaram. So one who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. One can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. And one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Okay, so already the Shastras are telling us, and we see that Arjun is following that path, right? So, and not Ashwathama. So if Ashwathama was to continue doing whatever he's doing, then it's a fall down from him, right? So I'll stop here and open up for reflections. We have 15 minutes past the hour here. Anything that you heard, any questions that you have here, and Charu Mataji, you can type them on the chat box. Go ahead, Preeti. Is that you?
Yeah. I really liked that how Srila Prabhupada has emphasized that the way the adjective used for Krishna in this particular verse is Arvindaksha, which is lotus-eyed, and it is to be noted that the lotus only blooms in the day, so somebody who doesn't appreciate his lotus-eyed Krishna is in darkness, it's like in the morning they're reading like envy being that one for two people, and sorry, two. I mean, more than two is envy, and two is jealous. I vaguely the people are trying to implement.
Oh, I see. I was talking about, this was in a Bhakti Vriks class actually, and I was talking about 6 enemies of the mind. And among the 6 enemies of the mind, there is lust, anger, greed. And we were talking about how these enemies of the mind can actually be utilized in the service of the Lord. And we said that anger can be utilized, and pride can be utilized, and greed can be utilized, right? But we were saying that envy cannot be, utilized. And then I was saying that what is the difference between jealousy and envy? So jealousy based envy is between two people, and envy is that somebody, you really like something and you want to have it, but somebody else has it, and you think that that person doesn't deserve it, it's I who deserve it. Okay, now even till this level it is not that bad, because if somebody has got something that you really wanted, and and the main thing to look at is that what is going on inside your head, right? For example, you want to play the harmonium, and you have been trying to play the harmonium, learn the instrument for 40 years, and you can't learn it. It just doesn't come to you. It's just, that's how my ears are made, my fingers are made like that. I can't do it. And then you see a 10-year-old in the temple playing beautiful harmonium, right? So that person has got something which you don't have. Now, what do we do with the feelings that are going to come like a storm in our heart, right? So it can also be a very sweet kind of a thing, like, oh, she has the talent, I wish I had that, I could also play for Krishna, like that. It becomes actually envy when it has got a poisonous taste, when just by seeing that person play the harmonium, your heart doesn't dance with joy. After all, it's the instrument that you like, but it's as if somebody has come and squeezed your heart and all the air has come out of your lungs, like that. And it gets even worse. So then it's like, as it gets even worse, it's like you wish that person, gets paralysis or some disease, or fingers get chopped off. So I wish that person is not able to play the harmonium, right? Even worse is you want to go kill them, right? So you can have degrees of envy inside you, but as you see, it's only happening between one person and the other person. Envy, right? Jealousy, I was saying, is different, and jealousy involves 3 things. It will typically involve 3 people. So in jealousy, what happens is, for example, an example I gave was that there's a girlfriend and a boyfriend, and they go out in a restaurant, and the lady is thinking that I'm going to have a nice, beautiful evening with my boyfriend, and he has not yet proposed to her though, which happens these days. And so they are sitting there, and then all of a sudden this beautiful girl comes there into the restaurant, and then the boyfriend looks at her and says, oh, Maggie, where were you all these days? And then he and Maggie starts to talk, and for a few minutes they are completely lost, and then the boyfriend turns to the girlfriend and says that she was my classmate. And then so they go on talking, and this one is sitting, the girlfriend is sitting there, and she's feeling threatened that this is a new person has come, she will take my boyfriend away, they're getting along so well. So then that is jealousy. Just I'm feeling threatened by that. So jealousy is at a lower level than envy and involves 3 people, right? So in jealousy, you have got something and you are afraid that somebody else is going to take it away from you because they have got some better assets. In envy, you don't have something, but other person has it and you don't like it, like that. Now, jealousy can get converted into envy. It will allow it to develop, right? Because in our case of the boyfriend, girlfriend, old schoolmate, then maybe she's more beautiful. And now you don't like the looks. Now you want to become beautiful yourself and you try various things and it's not happening. Now you want to go throw acid on the face like that, So that's what it is, envy and jealousy. So envy is something that cannot be utilized in the service of the Lord. Because who will we be envious against? We are here in this material world because we were envious of Krishna, right? And then who else can we be envious of? Envy is that somebody has got something and we want it, right? So if you say that we will be envious of the bad people, right? So the good and the bad, devotees and non-devotees. If you say I'm going to be envious of the non-devotee, then by the definition of envy, what does it mean? It means that the non-devotees have got something which you want. What do they have? They don't like Krishna. So do you also want that? No. So trying to be envious to non-devotees is not going to help you at all, because by the definition of envy. So, all right, then let's turn our attention to devotees. Are you going to be, let me be envious of devotees because they have got so much devotional service. I wanted that. Let me be envious of that. Why is it bad for you?
Sorry to break you, Mataji. That is an offense, right?
Yes. Krishna doesn't like it. So that's why envy cannot be utilized in the service of the Lord at all. By us.
Can I ask something, Shraddha Mataji?
Yeah, sure, Sanamaji.
It's not to do with this class. It's also, I think, from last time's Bhakta group. And this question might sound naive, but you had said that it is easiest to worship Vishnu, but not Krishna. So I wanted to know, why is that?
I was saying it is easier to worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu than Krishna. Right? Yeah. Or, because Vishnu, and I'll tell you why Vishnu was brought in the why I brought up the term Vishnu, right? I was saying that when you go to the temple, like ISKCON Silicon Valley Temple, when you go there, what do we see? We see Radha Madan Mohan, right? So Radha Madan Mohan, what does Radha Madan Mohan wear? Like he's a gwala, he's a cowherd boy, right? And so why do we have to give him opulent food? He's a cowherd boy. We should just pack whatever Yashoda Mataji used to pack, right? Which was curd rice, and give him that every day. He was happily eating it from Mother Yashoda. Why can't he eat from me? I also have motherly instincts towards him, like that. We might think. And then, which means that, he's like my son, or he's like my friend and, lover, and we behave like that to the deity in the temple, right? So that's not how it is done. When we are in the temple and the temple worship that we do it in the mood as if it is Lakshmi and Narayan in front of us, which means that there will be awe and reverence in when we are serving them, right? So that is what I was saying. And second thing, what I was saying was that when you're doing your deity worship at your home, right, and it is better to keep Lord Chaitanya's deities, because it's easier. He's munificent and he is very forgiving. He will forgive offenses, because doing deity worship is not an easy thing. There are rules and regulations. There are so many offenses that one can commit. There are about 60 or 64 offenses that are listed in Nectar of Devotion that one can perform when doing devotional deity worship. So when we're doing deity worship in the home, better to have Lord Chaitanya. If you try to have Krishna, then you have to really take care of, not make those offenses, because they get counted against you. So in that context, I was saying it's better to have to do worship of Chaitanya. Yeah, because Krishna means you have to give him food all the time, right? For Chaitanya, it's okay. He will survive on dry fruits and things like that if you're really hard pressed. But it shouldn't be like, I have to go watch a movie, so let's give dry fruits to Krishna. Not like that. But it's like, okay, I have to go to serve in the temple. I have to get all the chopping done for Janmashtami. I'm busy. I really don't have time to cook. And in any case, I won't be cooking anything today. So one option is that I'm not going to cook anything. Let me close the curtains. Let put Krishna to sleep without any food, and let me just go. In any case, I'm going to get my prasadam in the temple because I'm volunteering at the temple. A person might think like that. But then as you bring the deities into your home and then you start serving them, you start to get attached to them. And you get so attached to them that the very thought of putting Krishna to sleep without giving any food will cause heartache to you. So you will then say, okay, let's see what I can do. Maybe just some dry fruits and maybe just some milk, which doesn't require a lot of preparation, right? let me at least give him that much before I put him to sleep. Just because I'm not cooking doesn't mean that he'll also go hungry like that. Right? A lot of people ask this question that, on weekend nights, like especially on Fridays, they go to other places because there's satsang and, Krishna Katha and all that. And they will get some prasadam from there, which they will like to use as leftovers the next day. And then what happens to my deities? Do I start cooking for them again from the scratch? How much do I cook? How can I cook small? And I don't want to eat, too much of leftovers and things like that. So, well, if you're in a situation like that, just give him something. I mean, dry fruits are always there. Some juice is always there. Milk is always there. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is okay. If you just chant the Hare Krishna mantra, he'll be okay. Krishna needs arti. You have to do arti to him. So from that perspective, I was saying that at home, it is better to keep Krishna's deity. And not Krishna's deity, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's deity. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Question here regarding the same topic. So, what about it should not offend deity, those who are installed or any deity? Because I have whatever you explained, and I do something sometimes that also, but my deities are not installed. So.
Good question. Yeah, good question. So what happens? I mean, this deity installed and all that, right? I kind of came to know about deity being installed at the homes only after I joined ISKCON, right? I grew up and the deities were already there, right? And I lived in a place where no new temple was born, so I have no idea that deities were installed in a temple, right? There were no television in my house that I knew that someplace in South India some installation is going on like that, right? So what happens to people? So I'm doing deity. Then who am I worshiping then? The deities are not installed. Then whom am I worshiping? Whom am I offering prasadam and things like that, right? So now when we say deity is God, right? So is that thing God? That metallic thing that I purchased from a shop for 20 rupees, is that a deity? Is that God? So what happens is that as a devotee continues to pray to that statue, right? I'm not calling it a deity, to that statue, and continues to pray, and over a long period of time, actually Krishna will come and reside by himself and convert that thus into a deity. So if you are doing it, don't think that they are not installed. Krishna self installs himself.
No, the thought will come in the mind, but if Mataji asked this question, so it come in my mind also that my deities are not installed, and then all the situations we do knowing these offenses and all that. So so that's why I asked this question.
Yeah. So now if you have been worshiping them for 5 years, then they are not statues any longer, right? They have been converted.
No, I don't think at all.
Yeah. So offenses, it is better to be on the safer side, right? And not do any offenses. Yeah. And again, that the rules are more stringent. Rules are more stringent when you are in the temple. At home, rules are a little bit relaxed.
You want to worship as a king in temple.
Yes.
You see the king in the temple.
Yeah.
It's like a family member.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, like that.
And I like the point in that verse in Bhagavatam, we were explaining 10 to 32. There's a lot of points, in last also, he's saying, when one is in full consciousness of Supreme Lord, such devotion, person who is doing devotional service and constantly think of Krishna, then he can enter into the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
Those who are not faithful on the path of devotional service cannot attain him. We cannot see them. We are not faithful in that path.
Yeah.
So we're not having faith in him.
Yes. And we see that the nine stage, exactly. And
so, it's important to have that faith, and it's important to have faith in scriptures.
Yes, very.
So I think devotion to the devotional service.
Right. Very, very, very important, because The nine stages of devotional service, they start with Shraddha, they start with faith, right? And as it progresses, your faith continues to become stronger and stronger, the Nishtha stage, and, beyond that. Nobody can move you, nobody can push you out of your situation. Yeah. Yudhishthir, his name was, he was Sthira, he was determined on his place. And we should be like that in our devotional service too. Yeah, we just did that in the morning class today.
Yeah. And I think my experience also, like when you chant and then do devotional service, we have big faith, and then Krishna guide you, like whatever situation. Sometimes you come met with that downtime, all. So Krishna guide you in those time periods, like stay strong, or like I feel like that's just very nice, like to connect with him.
Yes.
Even when I was seeing all the Indian news and all that, like just all the migrant workers and all that, they were migrating to different towns and cities, and I was just wondering, like how merciful Krishna is. Like he said, like he is there for everyone. Like there, no matter what happens, he provides food to everyone, food and shelter. so the ISKCON devotees, and they are feeding people, 1,000 people, and everyone. He somehow he's taking care of all the religion or something. Like it's so nice.
Yeah. That's a verse from, I think, Upanishad. I'm forgetting the Upanishad, but it says Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. So there's only one who gives for everybody. Just one.
Yeah, even though,
So all the more admiration. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. All the more admiration and all the more, reason we should just focus on that. And that is why they say that, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition of worship, I mean, we are in the Madhurya Bhav, where we take Krishna in the Madhurya Rasa. And so Krishna is the best husband that you can get,
And I like the, funny side, like I like the previous, like all the Kardam, I was reading the Kardam Muni and all that, Bhagavatam, third canto, and then you were also in saying before that marriage system of an older age, and that time there's a nice system. We match it up. Now, so it's pretty good. Like they have a opportunity. Girls also have an opportunity to see that which they have a freedom to choose their husband. Like Subhadra, like or Rukmani Devi, they choose their husband by own term, kind of thing. So, and then when I see reading this Kadma Muni story, and then he had the 9 daughters, and then and daughter also, they have they give the full freedom to them to choose their husband, and then like, according to astrology, they will choose different Muni stages and all. So a good system back then.
Yeah, it is a good system, but the girls were also educated properly on choosing. It's not that, we went to college and found the guy with the best dress on and singing on a guitar and I want to marry him kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they were also given, grooming. They were groomed. Like if a princess was to go for a swimwear and things like that, they were properly groomed. They knew, and again, by hearing about that person. And they used to have water cooler talks also there also, they used to go to the Panghat to get the water, where all the conversations of the village happened. Who's going, seeing whom, who ran away with whom, who killed whom to get married. Yeah. So they were doing all that. Yeah. So like that. How about others on the call? Anything you want to share?
Krishna Mataji, I really liked the story that you talked about Kardam Muni,
and how he was so sincere in his prayers that, when Krishna came, tears rolled down to Krishna's eyes, seeing the sincerity of Narada Muni.
Yeah.
So it was very beautiful the way you said it. It's so nice that how Krishna responds to his devotees, and he's such a loving father that he's so he gets so excited when the devotee is so sincere. So thank you much.
Yes, he says, what is that? Ye yatham mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajameham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasa. So, according as much, it's proportional. How much we surrender to Krishna, Krishna's reciprocation is proportional to that. So how much we do. Yes, thank you so much for sharing that thought with us. So there, Archana Mataji, are you there? Are you listening? Can you talk?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'm there.
Hare Krishna Archana. So we were talking, we have been talking about today's main topic was that we were talking about prayers, right? Praying to Krishna. And then a little while ago, I had asked you all that I had given a nice prayer for all of you to memorize. And I'm going to put that prayer here on your screens, if you can tell me. That you got it? It's from the 11th canto, 22nd chapter, verse number 46.
Yes, I memorized it. Shraddha.
Okay, good. So you memorized it, and who else memorized it?
I also memorized it, Mataji.
You also memorized it? Okay, very good. Fine. So can we just all do it together?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
very good.
Yeah. Let's go together. Shiro mat padayo kitva bahubhyam grihanavat. Okay, and what does it mean?
I place my head at the feet of the
lotus, placing the lotus feet of Lord.
Okay, so you're placing the lotus feet of the Lord. Which sentence says that from the verse?
Shiro mat padaya
Kritva. Very good. Okay, and then what else? What does the second line tell you?
So it tells Krishna to protect us because we are surrendered unto you.
In the translation, yeah. But in the verse, in the Sanskrit verse, what is the meaning of the second line there?
With the hands together, we are touching the Lord's feet. So please protect.
Are we touching the Lord's feet with our hands?
No, with both the hands, we are praying to the Lord. Together grasping the feet of the deity. With the hands and together.
With the head.
With the mine it is saying with the hands. Bahu baham with the hands.
So you look at the link that we sent you, Sutapa. That is a bona fide place to go to look for the thing, to look for the meanings, right? So what is the first step he's doing? What is the first line telling you?
Shiro mat padaya kritva.
So what is the first thing he's doing?
You place your head at the lotus feet of Krishna.
Of the deity, right? And then what he's doing? Bahubhyam cha parasparam.
Folded hands.
So he's folding. Yeah, he's folding. Okay, right. Prapamram pahimam esha. So then.
Please protect me because I'm surrendered.
Surrender. Yeah. So prapanna means to surrender, right? Okay. And then bhritam, bhitam, brityu, grahanavat. So what is the bhitam? Bhitam means what? Bhaya, right? Yes. He's afraid of what? He's afraid of the material existence, right? So what we are doing, that we are afraid of the material existence. So that's why we go and surrender to the Lord. And how do we surrender to the Lord? First thing we do is we put our forehead on his head, on his feet, and then we stand with the folded hands, right? So put your head there, then fold your hands, and then say that I am, Lord, please protect me, who am surrendered to you, because I am fearful of this ocean of material existence, right? Okay, good. So that is a sense. So others who didn't memorize it, try to memorize that as well. It's good to have some verses in your pocket, so to speak. Yeah, because who never knows? We never know when there might be a need for us to start chanting, right? Gajendra, he was caught in such a miserable situation, and then at the last moment, the prayers returned to him from his previous life, right? And he remembered his prayers from his previous life, and then he plucks off a lotus flower and he offers it to the Lord, and then Vishnu comes like that. Yeah.
Ma, can I make a request? Can you just say that and leave a voice note of the pronunciation, so when we memorize, we have the right pronunciation?
Sure, I'll leave that. I will leave that. Yeah, thank you.
Somebody's struggling like me.
Shiro mat pad. Okay, we can do a little practice here for a few minutes, till 4:45 for 2 minutes. I will say, and then you can repeat. Shiro mat padayo kritva. Bahubhyam cha parasparam. Prapannam pahi mam isha. Bhitam mrityu griharnavat. Okay, now we will do it a few more times, but I wanted to tell you that if you make a little bit of time, maybe 15 minutes today, and sit down in some corner, lock yourself in a bathroom, lock yourself in your walk-in closet, wardrobe, wherever you have to hide, go hide with these words. And then you, did I lose you all?
This service is provided in high definition by freeconferencecallhd.com. There are 10 participants in the conference.
Yeah, if somebody calls me, then my call gets disconnected. So okay. So what I was saying was that if you spend some time and try to find any place where you can go and hide today, and just go and recite these prayers 50 times, 50. It takes about 11 seconds, it takes about 11 seconds for you to recite these kind of verses, the verses in this type of a meter, they're very, very small, right? So if you have to recite it 11 times, then it's going to take you, and I'm doing the calculation here, it's going to take you how much of time? It's going to take you, how many minutes? I need to get that, right? It's going to take you about 9 minutes. In 9 minutes and 16 seconds flat, you would have recited this verse 50 times. And at the end of that, if you really stay focused and stay with the verse all the 50 times, you would have memorized it, sooner than you reach the figure of 50. And as you start repeating it over and over again, and now that you know the meaning, right? You know the meaning of this verse, right? What does this verse say? That I am putting my head on the lotus feet and I'm standing with my arms folded in front of you. And what is the prayer? That this person is afraid of the material world and is surrendered to the Lord Krishna and is asking for protection from Lord Krishna. So you know these were the general concept over there, and then you also know how to match these meanings to the various sentences there. And so as you are memorizing and reciting this word, just go with the Shiro mat padayo kritva. So in your mind, you are putting your head on his feet. So imagine the Radha Madan Mohan or your DT or whoever, you put your head there. And bahubhyam cha parasparam, so you can bring your hands together mentally or physically. Prapannam pahi mam isha, right? So then you go into the mood of surrender, and then bhritam mrityu grahanavat. Now I don't have to talk enough about fear of death, especially these days, right? So just recite it over and over. And as you continue to recite that, then you will notice that you will start relishing. As you start becoming familiar with the verse and the verse starts coming to you, then you just address the verse in a surrendered mood. Don't go with the mood that today is my goal, I'm going to get it and things like that. You just say that 50 times, I'm going to serve this sloka by reciting this sloka in a humble manner. And you will be very surprised to know that the shloka will like you and will come to reside with you. And that's the way you go to memorize the shlokas. Okay, So try doing that. And so next week, I hope that I will get more hands raised when I ask this question, that have you memorized this prayer? Any other questions? Any other last thoughts and questions, comments on this?
I just wanted to say in this, the verse that we did today, verse 726, in that Arjuna said, Deva, Deva, like some of the Sanskrit words, like addressed to Lord is so sweet. Like I memorized that Aho Bakiyam Sanakala Kutam, because I just loved Aho Bakiyam, just the way it starts. Like the meaning itself is beautiful in that verse. So some of the verses are like just so poetic in themselves, and their meaning is so beautiful.
Yes, Sanskrit as a language is very beautiful. Most of the Sanskrit verses are sung, and you get the beauty, like you sung that Ahobakiyam verse like that. And then to make it even better, Srimad Bhagavatam, the poetry in Srimad Bhagavatam and the language, Sanskrit language that is used is classical Sanskrit language, very, very beautiful. And the meters in which the poems are written are so sweet that, there's no way that you can prevent, falling in love with Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a granth like that because it's Krishna. Obviously, that's going to happen. Yeah, thank you for bringing that point up. So, I did not see Shukharupa was also on the call. Shukharupa, welcome to the call.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Okay, so if there are no more comments, then should we call it a day here on the call? Vanchukalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha goprevarande hari hari bo. Yeah. So,
Thank you, Shraddha.
yeah, thank you for joining. Yeah. So, yeah, tomorrow is Saturday. Yeah, tomorrow is Saturday, and remember, we have moved the timing of our Bhakti Vriksha. Instead of 5 o'clock in the evening, we're going to have it at 6 o'clock, right? Because there were some from India who wanted to join as well. So tomorrow, Saturday, 6 o'clock in the evening, we'll have Bhakti Vriksha, where we're going to talk about mind and meditation. And tomorrow in the morning at 7 o'clock, we start the Japa International Circle at ISKCON Silicon Valley, followed by a Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam class by Vaisheshika Prabhu. So those are, two very nice things in the morning lined up for you. And we will, of course, meet again for our regular Bhagavad Gita classes every morning at 6:30, except for on Saturdays when we don't have that. And then we have a detailed Bhagavad Gita class on Tuesday in the evening. And then again, we'll meet on Friday for Srimad Bhagavatam class. So like that. Okay. Once again, we thank you so much for joining those on the YouTube, on Zoom, as well as those who have joined me here on the conference call. Have a wonderful, wonderful Krishna conscious rest of the week and the big weekend here coming up. Please stay safe. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Goodbye.